seats here at the Pepsi Center as the Nuggets look to grab a win here in downtown Denver, Colorado. For the Denver Nuggets, they come in off a good outing against the Bulls in Chicago. And they barely squeaked by with that one, edging out by just 1 point.
And there's no question what the overriding factor was in that game, Clark. It was the big edge they had on the glass.
Well, the level of energy they had in the win, Steve, is what impressed me. I mean, it was lacking on the other side and really showed through the rebounding number.
Let's check on Indiana's starting lineup. Preston Hibbert up front. George Hill out there with Lance Stevenson. And it's George in at the 3 slot. And for the Nuggets, at small forward and power forward, Gallinari and Fareed. Iguodala out there with Lawson. And it's Kufos in at the 5, roaming the paint.
Well, it's interesting. Indiana is known for being a hotbed of basketball. And in recent years, the Pacers have not drawn well. In large part because I didn't think their teams were very likable. But that's changed. The current Pacer group is a hard-working, unselfish team. And I think they're fun to watch.
The unselfishness you mentioned, Steve, with this Pacers group, they really play team basketball, and they look out for each other.
And, Kevin, a big part of it is they don't really have a superstar that they're built around. They are just a good collection of good to outstanding players, and they're all willing to defer in order to get the win.
That's a great call.
Yep.
Pushes it down.
The D might need to body him up a little better next time. Get into him some.
Yeah, Clark, they need to be a little bit more physical.
Yeah, you can't play this game, Saul.
Yeah, but guys, you got to give him some credit for attacking when he had the chance.
You know, George Hill almost has the perfect basketball body. He's long, lean, a nice two-way player at 6'2", a combo guard, more scorer than playmaker. But what I really like about him is he can defend either guard spot, and on occasion can defend small forwards too.
I think Greg Popovich liked that about him in San Antonio. A shot by West. The good-looking shot from the wing.
Now they finally connect with their 4th shot of the game.
Iguodala, this is to Kufos. The shot's good on the assist by Iguodala. Speaking of George Hill, you mentioned his ability to guard shooting guards. His 6'9" arm span of his doesn't hurt. Steve, he takes up a lot of area.
Yeah, great athleticism. Kevin, a guy who can knock down the three-point shot, but also defend multiple positions. And, playing for Greg Popovich his first 3 years in the league with the Spurs, he obviously learned an awful lot at the defensive end of the floor.
JaVale McGee's checked in for Costa Kufos. Right now, let's find out what head coach George Karl had to say to our Doris book. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, he's certainly mindful of the shot-blocking presence they'll run up against inside, but he doesn't want them shying away offensively. If anything, he said, we've got to be aggressive, but also patient. If we can be deceptive in the way we attack them, there are ways to do that so we can be successful inside. Guys, let's see how successful they can be.
Hey, Doris, thanks. Steve, Clark, how do you best throw a defense like this off balance to enable your scorers to get comfortable?
I think the key is you need motion. You can't get too stagnant offensively where you're going one-on-one. Activate the offense with ball and player movement.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And then the other part of that, too, to me, Steve, is you got to be ready to take good shots whenever they come available.
Now, here is Watson. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Bulls in Chicago.
I like that creativity, double clutching and catch the defender on the way down. I can go for that.
Here's George, and he finishes nicely on the layup.
You know, it is really hard to miss shots that close to the basket.
Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Magic. Here's Fareed. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Well, this team in Denver is really built around the haul that they got for Carmelo Anthony in their trade with New York. Good group of players, a lot of young talent. They can build around these guys for a long time.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Hansbrough comes in for David West. And it's Green in for Paul George. Stevenson passes to Hibbert. Shoots over McGee. Here's Green.
Well, sometimes he's worth the price of admission alone for the show he puts on in the air. Some of the biggest slams you're ever going to see.
Yeah, absolutely filthy stuff. Nasty. Just stupid. That's the only way to describe a lot of his dunks. I mean, goes up high and throws it down hard. That's my tribute to you, Kevin.
Thanks, partner. Wilson Chandler's checked in for Gallinari. The Pacers also changing it up. Johnson comes in for Lance Stevenson, and DJ Augustine subbed in for George Hill. And Hansbrough kicks to Hibbert. And that one's good. Hibbert's got his second basket. And they have to continue to tweak and build after that Carmelo trade, but really they got the building blocks there, Clark, you and Steve have been talking about.
Well, the trade of Carmelo Anthony was a big move, but what often gets overshadowed in that is that leaving Denver allowed Ty Lawson to step up and really blossom into the star that he's becoming, and you add Danilo, Gallinari, and other pieces, and you can see why they transitioned so well.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Andre Iguodala. That'll be his second foul of the game. A minute 50 left to play in the first quarter. Plenty of space. Hansbrough, that's good. Denver calls timeout. Last time they faced off, it was right here at home where they couldn't get it done. Kufis checked in for Denver. Mahimi's checked in for Indiana. As we approach the playoffs, let's see how the East is shaping up. Taking a look at Miami and checking out Indiana. They're tied right now. Out to Chandler. Carries it from three-point range. Chandler's got his first 3 points of the game.
He's going to take that shot every time if he has that much room to get it off.
Andre Miller is just one of the smartest players you'll see in the NBA. You don't know how he gets it done because he's not really fast. He doesn't jump well, but he's got a lot of strength.
Pour it down that time. Did you see that?
Well, we got to see that one again. We've got to see that again.
I need a replay. I'm not sure what I just looked at.
Augustine dishes to Green.
Throwing it down with one hand and making it look easy.
Easy and fun. He just thrives on making the D look silly.
Yep, which is something he does pretty often, Kevin.
Miller kicks to Kufis. Out to Chandler. Fires from deep. The rebound by Hansbrough.
Well, they're fortunate. The defense was taking a big chance. Oh, get it! Oh, what now? Explosive leaping ability.
Oh, that was pretty. And he just has that effortless net for getting inside.
Well, you hate to be the guy asked to guard it because he's just so dominant, so quick and explosive. Something to stay in front of him.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
And his free throws are only going in at about a 72% rate this season. Not a terrible number, but something that could definitely improve.
I think it's been a disappointing year for him at the stripe, guys. I mean, he hasn't been as productive as he was last season from them.
It's up. Fareed, no good.
I'll tell you what, the way he's been going this quarter, guys, they're going to need somebody else to pick up the slack.
Here's Johnson with 4 seconds on the clock.
The defense was ready for him that time, and they had to be. He is so powerful in the lane.
A scoring fast. Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. Let's quickly break down the game we've seen from the Pacers so far, guys.
Big boost from their bench there, guys, in that first quarter. They did a nice job coming in and really giving this team a lift.
Yeah, it's a nice attribute to have. Firepower coming off the pine early. That's good stuff.
Andre Miller is up there with Iguodala. And it's Wilson Chandler. Then there's Kufis. And it's Randolph in at the 4. That's the group for Denver getting going here in the second. Chandler's shot good. Pacers leading by 7.
You know, with the altitude in Denver, a lot of Nuggets teams over the years have been built with speed in mind. And it makes sense because you come in as an opponent and you have to play against a team that gets up and down the floor. That's not easy.
And Andre Iguodala with the slam.
How about the nice execution? Well done.
Yeah, 2 teammates and total sync right there. You're right.
Very harmonic.
Oh, man, it was beautiful. The pass was delivered right to the hoop. Set up that jam.
Here's what Denver's going with right now. JaVale McGee's checked in for Koufos. Kenneth Faried comes in for Anthony Randolph. And it's Gallinari in for Wilson Chandler. A shot by Mahinmi, no good. Steve talked about the altitude. For anyone that hasn't been to Denver, watching the broadcast, you definitely feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it. Look at how the Nuggets have fared at home over the years. They always play well at home. They've had good teams, but the altitude is a part of that as well.
Now the feed to Hansbrough. Back to Johnson. The pass to Augustine. Shot clock at 6. Indiana needs to get a shot off. Here's Mahinmi. Indiana again missing.
Solid advantage in rebounding totals for them so far here.
You know, in every game, but particularly in a close game, every little advantage you can use helps. And they're certainly enjoying one on the glass here. You can see that dunk coming a mile away. Anytime he gets in that close to the bucket, it's all over.
Well, one thing you love about Andre Iguodala is his durability. He's missed fewer than 30 games his entire 8-year career. One of those guys who takes great care of himself in the offseason. Works hard, watches his diet. I think that's been a big factor.
Here's Green. And nothing is falling for him right now. Nuggets have gotten 4 of the first 5 shots to fall in the second quarter. Outstanding shooting. Here's Gallinari. Puts up the baby hook. The rebound by Hansbrough. Hansbrough's got 3 rebounds now in this one. And Iguodala, you spoke about his attention to diet and training already. A tremendous athlete, just answered.
Yeah, but he's taking it to another level. And that's what the great ones do. They find ways to continue to get better no matter where they are currently. Last season, he dug into those salads, cut down or cut out candy bread and red meat. And a terrific athlete became better.
The Nuggets making a switch here. Koufos is checked in. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Mahinmi. West comes in for Tyler Hansbrough. Stevenson's checked in for Johnson. And George Hill's subbed in for Augustine. Hill gets a screen from West. Hill kicks it to West. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. West has got 5 points so far.
Oh, a nice little trend developing here, fellas. I mean, that's 8 of their last 10 from inside the paint.
Yeah, they're getting high percentage looks down there. Their offense is really clicking. I don't see why they wouldn't just continue to pound the ball inside.
Here's Stevenson. Can't get it to go. Now Denver takes it the other way.
How about the career of Nuggets head coach George Karl? Actually played in the league for 5 years, all with the Spurs. But for 24 years, he's been a head coach in the league. First among active coaches, and 8th all time.
Green with a screen on Lawson. Over Iguodala. Here's West. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. West has got his 3rd bucket of the night. For 3, Lawson. That one's good. And that ties it up. Steve talked about the long coaching career of George Karl. Very surprising. He's never won a coach of the year. As good as he's been, as good as his teams have been.
He's almost been stuck in no man's land. Kevin. His teams have been really good, but not good enough to win a title, and not bad enough where he can coach them up to win Coach of the Year award. It's kind of a weird situation to be in. But in my book, George Karl is a top 5 coach in the NBA, and he has been for the last couple of decades. He's fantastic.
The Pacers making a change here. George is checked in.
And we get a chance to see the numbers for Kenneth Faried, 13th in rebounding. And there aren't too many guys more efficient offensively around the league. He's in the top 15 in field goal percentage.
And, you know, just to touch on that rebounding average again, Steve, I mean, he's a gritty player in the paint. Sandpaper-like. I mean, just makes it tough on other people. There's not much more than you can ask of him in that area.
Passes to Stevenson. Iguodala with the steal. And that one's good. Iguodala's got 8 points.
Well, they keep going right back to the paint. Who can blame them? I mean, they're getting it done in there.
Now, 3 of their last 5 buckets, guys, have come from inside the lane area, so I'd expect them to continue to go inside right at the defense.
And for Roy Hibbert, no player has improved any more than he has. Having watched him from college at Georgetown until now, you've got to be impressed with his dedication to remake himself athletically. It didn't come easily for him. When he arrived in college, he couldn't do 10 push-ups. They said he had to learn to run. He's done a tremendous job to add mobility, strength, and confidence to his game, mobility and strength to that big frame of his.
That's a great story.
It is.
Here's Lawson. And down in the low post it goes. 8 points for him.
Getting better and better. Got that field goal percentage up in the 60s now.
They've dialed it in here in the second quarter. They are on fire.
And for Roy Hibbert, and you just told me this other day, Clark, he had to go through a diagnosis for asthma, which they did not know about until he went up and through a test taken, and they addressed that. And he's mentioned before he hit the weights, he lifts all year long. Steve, he's been a wonderful project that has now blossomed into this rising star at that position.
Well, you love what he's done, Kevin, because at Georgetown, he really couldn't move. He was heavy, he couldn't run. But he's done so much physically, nutrition-wise, conditioning-wise. He's even added a personal chef to cook his meals, and you can see it now in his physique and the way he's performing. He's become a big-time player.
And it's Iguodala missing.
So hard not to go for it when you see that chance at the alley-oop.
And he wishes he hadn't though.
Hit his foot. And it's being called a kickball. From deep, Gallinari. No good trying to beat the buzzer.
Your net worth 35. The Pacers 31.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters.
Well, how about Ty Lawson in this one? He has 8 points and 5 assists. You know what? It was the polar opposite of a slow start for him. He was instantly on fire in this game.
He really was just an offensive dynamo in the first half.
And so in the game for the Pacers. Mahinmi is out there with West. Then there's DJ Augustine. Then it's Paul George. And it's Johnson in at the shooting guard position.
That's his first personal foul.
The Nuggets making a switch here. Fareed is checked in. Here's West. An easy 2 points on the layup. West has got the first points to start out the third quarter for the Pacers.
You look at Frank Vogel of the Pacers, a young guy, a lot of energy, and really emphasizes toughness and kind of a smash-mouth style that his team has really embraced.
Catching up on the changes for Denver. Wilson Chandler's checked in for Gallinari. And it's Lawson in for Andre Miller. George, covered by Brewer. And George with the stuff.
He's definitely showing some real sweet dunking skills here.
Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. What a play.
Yeah, that was spectacular.
Here's Lawson. The pick gave him all the room he needed, and he knocks down the J. You talk about that tough style that Coach Vogel has emphasized. The Pacers have the size and, Steve, the physicality inside to really deliver on that style of play.
Yeah, they've got a swagger about them, and obviously some talent, too, with guys like Hibbert and David West. So I like the way Vogel has really sort of rubbed off on this team. His personality has become their personality, and they've become one of the better defensive clubs in the league.
And this, now a list of guys who can shoot it as well as they can pass it. The point guards with the highest shooting percentage in the NBA. Number 5 is Ty Lawson.
Well, as a point guard, you want to create the best shot possible for your team on every trip. And given the way those players have shot the ball, it might always be a good idea for them to do it alone.
I don't really want to see them doing that, Steve. They got to keep everything in the framework of the team no matter how well they're shooting it. I know what you mean. They have been hot, but keep everybody involved. The Pacers as a franchise had a slow start when they joined the NBA in the mid-'70s, but from the 90s until today, Kevin, they've been a pretty consistent presence in the playoffs.
Rufus checked in for the Nuggets. Jeff Pendergrass checking in for the Pacers. He feeds it to Augustine. Shoots the three. Count that one.
Costa Rufus.
Augustine's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. Yeah, you're right, Clark. Some great teams those Pacers had in the 90s. Still, the team is looking for the first title, Steve, in the NBA. They
had multiple ABA titles.
Exactly. Good point. Steve is trying to do it now in this one.
Well, they've been close, but they just haven't been able to get over the hump. A little bit like the Phoenix Suns in the West. You know, two franchises that have been very, very good, but just haven't been able to win the big one.
The shot's good from Fareed.
They continue to barrel their way inside, and when's the defense going to adjust?
Well, I'm asking the same question myself, partner. I mean, that's 8 points out of your last 10 coming inside.
It's taken away by Brewer.
Over Jordan.
And the whistle blows, and it's going to be an over-the-back call here.
Not much doubt about that over-the-back call.
Yeah, he was all over his back that time. Looked like he was going for a piggyback ride.
Andre Iguodala. He's checked in for Corey Brewer.
You know, Andre Iguodala is really an elite defender. And I'm not sure he gets enough credit when it comes to his ability to lock scores down at either the 2 or the 3 position.
Kevin, I think he's got to demand the ball. They need him to be more aggressive if they're going to take control of this game.
And some changes here for the Pacers. Hansbrough comes in for David West. And George Hills subbed in for Augustine. Chandler with the steal. There's a whistle. It goes on Tyler Hansbrough. That is his first foul of the game. And, you know, speaking of Iguodala defensive, we saw him with the Team USA defending power forwards in the low block, and he did a very good job.
Yeah, he brings an element of toughness that you can actually see on a regular basis. Defense takes fundamentals and quickness, but more than anything, it's a willingness to get after it defensively, and he has that.
Denver right now is a collection of very good players, but they don't have a star anymore now that Carmelo is gone. You always wonder how a team is going to fare, particularly in the playoffs, when they don't have one guy who they can go to for a basket or a trip to the free throw line.
Well, as good as Denver might be, as you were saying, Steve, you do need to have that go-to player to get, you know, some good points in crunch time. Clark, you've already alluded to that.
And really, Kevin, if you look around the league, that's what separates good teams from great teams. Having that one superstar that you can lean on when everything else is on the line. The one player that can go get you baskets when you need it.
Jordan Hamilton's checked in for the Nuggets. And the official signaled a backcourt violation. Not very careful there. We get a break in the action, so let's take a look at the West and how the teams are stacking up. You look at San Antonio. And checking out Indiana. Tied right now. And the Nuggets making a change here. McGee's checked in. Hits the bucket.
He's been so solid. You've got to keep him out there on the floor. Really doing a nice job for the offense.
And the call will be against Ty Lawson. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. Pacers have shot 9 of 11 at the free throw line.
And as a team, they're shooting about 75% on the year.
You know, their percentages dropped off just a little bit compared to last year, guys, but it's not a huge drop-off, so no major concern.
Green, he's checked in for the Pacers. Here's McGee. The Pacers pull it in. Hansbrough's got his 5th rebound in this one.
There's one thing about the alley-oop. You can't fire the pass in there. You've got to have some air under that pass. It needs a little hang time.
That's exactly right. A lot of finesse. Just like that one was. Perfectly thrown.
And that's what makes the play so much fun to watch. There's finesse on the front end, but then power on the end. Well, when he came out of college, the one thing you knew with Kenneth Fareed was he was going to give you a lot of hustle. Great rebounder at Morehead State, and he brought that into the league with him. He attacks the ball, he attacks the glass, plays hard on every possession.
That's just the kind of player he is. It's in his nature. He can't help but hustle after missed shots, and he's willing to battle for rebounds and loose balls with anybody. There's no backing down with Fareed. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
JaVale McGee.
You know, when you think about height, length, and leaping ability, I'm not sure there's anybody else in the league who combines those attributes like JaVale McGee. Just an amazing athlete for a player of his size.
Anthony Randolph, he's checked in for Denver. Miller comes in for Ty Lawson. Roy Hibbert's checked in for the Pacers. And Stevenson comes in for Johnson. Here's Stevenson. And there are the Pacers with another bucket. When you talk about the athleticism for McGee, his ability to run will serve him well with those Nuggets.
Oh, yeah, he's actually thrived in that up and down open court style the Nuggets play. They get a guy who can block shots. Hammer time! I tell you what, you need to archive that one for the highlight tape.
Oh, yeah, that is a keeper. You're correct.
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, and those plays will give your team a huge boost. Boy, he just battled through that initial impact and somehow willed it in.
Excellent concentration. That's what you like to see.
You know, the Pacers had that 4 or 5 year stretch where things went south after that brawl in the Palace. But if you look at their team now the last couple of years, they've really built a strong young core. And it's paid off. They're becoming one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference.
Mozgov, he's checked in for JaVale McGee. Miller, the pass to Hamilton. It's good. It's Miller with the assist. Miller's got 3 assists now in this one. And the Pacers shooting it pretty well, close to 50%. And the foul called on Andre Miller. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. Free throw, good. Hibbert. He doesn't get the second one.
I'd be disappointed not to have converted all of them, but he did get the big one to give them the lead.
It's stolen by Green. Timeout called the Pacers.
Nuggets dancers.
6 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Here's Hibbert. And we've reached the end of the 3rd quarter. Just a terrific game. Indiana leading. Our 4th quarter action underway, presented by Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups. Taking a look at the Nuggets. They've got Iguodala. Gallinari is out there with Randolph. Then it's Lawson. And it's Mozgov in at the 5 down low. Iguodala. That one falls. Coming off Lawson's feet. Lawson's got 6 assists here tonight. Augustine dishes to Hansbrough. He kicks it to Stevenson. There's a screen by Hansbrough. And Augustine kicks to Hibbert. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Way to play in attack mode and get inside.
You know, if you're on defense and you're going to foul, make sure it's a good one. They did, preventing the and one.
Well, this is the first full season of the post-Carmelo era in Denver, and looks to me like the Nuggets are going to be just fine. They've got a collection of talent, maybe not superstar talent, but a lot of very, very good players.
Kenneth Faried, he's checked in for Anthony Randolph.
You know, it was a pretty poor display from the field for them in the first half, but they've got the lead, and now the shots are starting to fall.
Now, they shot under 40% before the break, and that had to change coming into the second half, so they're starting to figure it out.
And stolen by Hibbert. Now the Pacers moving it up. Stevenson leading the charge. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Andre Iguodala. That's his 4th foul of the contest. JaVale McGee's checked in for Denver. And then Hibbert with the dunk.
An open lane right there. Pretty much saw the daylight he wanted and took advantage.
Yeah, great opportunity, and he seized it without much hesitation.
Yeah, a little too easy, if you ask me. The defense really needs to tighten things up here.
And you don't need an elite superstar to be a factor in the league, and Denver is just a team that has collected talent, and by virtue of the trade Steve was just kind of talking about, very, very deep.
Yeah, I like that approach. Naturally, you would love to have a superstar, and if they want to get to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league, they might have to add one. But right now, they've shown they can compete with the talent they have. Call it game time and bang time.
You gotta just shake your head on that one.
Pacers leading by 5. Takes it up. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Hibbert's got 6 here in this quarter.
Up over 50% now from the floor with the way they've shot this half.
Yeah, that's a nice improvement. It's not a surprise to see them out in front with the way they have shot throughout the entire game, as a matter of fact. It's been very efficient offensively.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Paul George, he's checked in for Green, and George Hills subbed in for Augustine. Gallinari with the steal. Lawson drives in.
I'll tell you what, it has been all offense all game long.
You know what? This is really fun to watch, guys. I mean, as a coach, though, this is when you want to just harness this energy and bottle it up and ride it all the way.
Hill kicks to Hibbert. It's stolen by Lawson. Throws it up high. And it's McGee with the jam.
What a play. No regular dunk there. A superb alley-oop.
And it was a great pass, too, to set him up.
No, those two have such a great feel for each other. They're just fun to watch play together.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Kevin, the head coach for the Pacers had some instruction for his guys during that break. As this game enters winning time, and it really could go either way, he wanted the chance to check in, make sure they're all on the same page, and sticking to the game plan to close it out. Kevin?
Thanks, Doris. Hill kicks to Stevenson. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Lawson dishes to Gallinari. McGee sets the pick for Gallinari. Inside, Lawson. He's guarded by Hill. And the call will be against George Hill. That's his first foul. Mahinmi's checked in for the Pacers. It's good on the putback. 16 points for Lawson.
Excellent work to turn that miss into 2 points on the tapping.
Hustle points, I believe they called them.
And great instincts, too. Just anticipating where the ball is heading. Great job there, beating everybody else to the ball.
In low to Fareed. Pass to McGee. Tries again. And he races to the bucket for 2.
Points in the paint has been the main course, or main entree, if you will. They just keep pounding it inside.
Now they're seeing no resistance defensively in the main area, so the defense has got to be tougher.
The shot by George, no good. The Nuggets trailed by 3. Pass in the pass to Iguodala. It is now to Fareed. Davis is checked in. Then for the Pacers, Hansbrough comes in for David West. And it's Green in for Lance Stevenson. Here's Lawson. Hill with some nice D.
They've got possession. Can they do it now with under a minute left?
George. Good. The assist goes to Hill. And that's now 8 points here for George.
You know, everybody seems to be sleepwalking out there on defense, and it's been that way, guys, ever since they came out of the halftime locker room.
Here's Lawson. Shot denied. Tipped away. Here's Fareed. David Allen kicks to Kufis. Good ball movement here by the Nuggets. Fareed. Second chance shot. Straight up. And that one's good.
Wow, huge shot. Listen to this crowd.
Yeah, it sounds like a rock concert in here.
Well, they've been waiting to explode all game, and they finally got a reason to do so.
And 1:01 left to play here in the fourth. Pacers leading by 3. Hill dishes to Green. He dishes it to Hansbrough. It's George on the wing. Down low. Mahimi